Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. Shortages are probably coming, and you need to be ready for them and prepare for them. That's what I want to talk about today. Before we get to that, I want to remind you that our sponsor is the Stonemont series, my books, complete collection of 7 novels. I don't have the seventh one here because it's sold out, waiting for the new shipment. The complete guide to preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a total collapse of everything. If you haven't read them, you need to. They will give you a whole new perspective on preparedness and preparing. You can get them through Amazon or directly from me through our website, stonemont.us. The link is down below. And we have a special on the whole set, which includes the Stonemont notebook, which people love. And you get a discount, and you get them signed by me, and I love to do that. Also, from Get Mugged, our mug company, our newest mug, our hugest, our biggest selling ever, and these are back in stock. You can order them again now. Shot placement is everything. Isn't that a beautiful mug there? Look at that. It's got all the right calibers right there. This will give you something to talk about. Everything tastes better out of this mug, and it'll give you something to talk about with your friend across the table. Buy them for yourself and as gifts. These are available not just individually, but in a set of 4, and the sets of 4 are blowing things out. Those are also available down at the link is down below, stonemont.us, along with all of our other cool stuff that you will want to take a look at. Christmas is coming up, and it's time to start thinking about gifts and things like that. We'll probably have some. Well, I'm not going to get into that yet. So, probably most of you are aware that the International Longshoremen's Association is talking about a work stoppage. It'll be the first since 1977, and it's going to affect, if it goes into play, the entire East Coast and Gulf Coast. Up to 60% of all port activity in the United States, all everything coming into those ports. 45,000 people potentially out of work. That's not going to have an effect. The 45,000 people, while it can be devastating to them and their families, it's not going to have a big effect on the economy. The economy is already in shambles, and the Fed's decrease of interest rates for 50 basis points, which is a fancy way of saying 0.5%. Is an act of desperation. The last time we saw this, every time we see something like this prior to an election, and not just prior to an election, but it signals that the Fed is worried about recession. So we have a lot of things. And you know the economy is a mess. You know the people who have been in office for the last 4 years don't know what they're doing. You know they're commies, right? You know they're commies, and so they're trying to destroy our economy. And I'm probably going to talk on the other channel about what if Trump wins, because I think it's an interesting question, and I think it's going to be different than a lot of people think. But let's put that over to the side for a moment. Let's get back to the potential work stoppage by the longshoremen. So like I said, 45,000 dock workers out of work. That's going to affect them. But what is going to affect you is the supply chain interruptions, and I think there is a big chance of that. Now, what I'm probably going to title this "Shortages Are Coming," because that's the way you need to think about it. Too often, when people see things like this, they ask themselves, okay, instead of taking action, instead of looking at a possibility and understanding it might be a probability. They simply think, oh, wow, I wonder if it's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen, whatever. Real preparedness is assuming that it will happen, okay, and then preparing for that eventuality. So instead of asking yourself, is this going to happen? And I'm not going to ask in the video, is it going to happen? I'm going to say, it's going to happen. Okay. The reason that I put it that way to myself, and I put it that way to you, is that as a result of putting it that way, you should do something. You know, when we ask ourselves, could something happen? Too many people just won't prepare. You need to understand it could happen. Take that to the next step with the assumption it will happen, and then prepare for it happening. Now, I'll give you an example of what we're doing around here If we run it, do you remember the last time that we had major supply chain issues, back during the lockdowns and COVID and everything like that? And ships were stacked up outside in the Pacific waiting to get in. The price of containers out of China was exploding. My brother was in international shipping at the time, and so he let me know about all that. And that's what really drove the prices up. Shortages increase prices. Inflation increases prices. And here again, hey, a little economic lesson. Inflation is not the rise of prices. Inflation is the increase in the money supply, which devalues the currency itself, which then results in a necessary increase in prices. When you bring all these things together, it could be the perfect storm of a major economic, I won't say collapse, I will say challenge. But a major economic challenge can ruin a lot of people. If you're living too close to the line, it can destroy you. And even if you're not living that close to the line, it's going to have a negative impact on you. I'll tell you what we're doing around here, for instance, is that, and the time don't wait. Okay, the time to act is not after you wait a while and say, is it going to happen? The time to act is now, to start acting. For instance, in our we have several businesses. We have a Christmas light business. Our Christmas light installation season is starting in a couple of weeks. So we're going to be ordering and bringing in because a lot of the supplies comes from China. And of course, most of that comes in West Coast, but we're going to be ordering ahead of time a lot of extra, stringer line and bulbs and also all the things that we need for the installation. For instance, for our mug business is just exploding. And matter of fact, I'm not going to get to that. It's just exploding. So what I'm going to do is, and that I had to stop orders on these for a couple of weeks because we had run out. We were so far behind. Well, we kind of ran out, but then simply because of the volume of orders, we were having a hard time keeping up with order fulfillment. But I don't want that to happen again. So what we're doing is we're ordering several months worth of the mug blanks. Now, see, we do all the printing in-house. It's just another little business that I started that is becoming not a little business, but a fairly good business. And it allows other people in the family to also have jobs. But I'll be ordering several months ahead of the mug blanks. Several months worth of all the things that we need, the packing materials, the boxes, the bubble wrap, the tape, right down to the fragile stickers that go on each one. There will be other things that go into the printing supplies that we use. We use certain papers and certain chemicals to process. Well, chemicals, that's a wrong term. Okay, this process is done. It's a sublimation process, so it takes special papers, special printers, special inks to put this on. So we'll be making sure that we order several months ahead, because if we have a work stoppage on the dock, I don't want you all having to wait for your mugs, right? And we have a lot more stuff going out. I mean, I really can't get into it, but we have quite a bit more that is just starting to explode. But you should do the same thing. What is it that you need? What do you need to stock up on? Do you remember? Use the last supply chain interruption as a guide. What were the things that you remember going into the store and saying, that's not here anymore? Okay. And I'm already seeing shortages of breads and some other items, some kind of empty slots. And when I go to Aldi, that's about the only store I go to. Kelly goes to the big stores, but I stop by Aldi probably once or every couple of days. And I see what's the little holes in there, or how long it takes to resupply. So we're already seeing that. But think back to what you remember being short of. I know everybody remembers toilet paper, right? Well, I'm not, and people, it was funny. People used to laugh at people stocking up on toilet paper. Why would you laugh at someone stocking up on something that makes life easier, But do stock up, and I know most of you already stock up on food. Do it even more, because when if we have a work stoppage, if we have supply chain interruptions, it's going to make the cost of everything rise. So the money that you spend right now is not an expense as much as it is an investment. And you know the difference, or if you don't know the difference, an expense is simply something that you buy and you get something in return for it. An investment is something that you buy and it increases in value. Okay, so and I use this example all the time. I haven't for a while, and we have a lot of new people here. Whenever Kelly says I need a can of corn, kids come down and where we keep all of our food stocks, and they bring up however many cans of corn she needs, and they bring up 29-cent cans of corn. Why? Because I bought it back when it was 29 cents a can. And you're coming up. By the way, every time we come up on the holidays, major grocery stores will put several things on great sales. Be ready for that. Corn, green beans. These aren't, high protein foods, but they'll last, as long as your survival food. So anyway, like I said, so whenever Kelly needs some corn or something like that, or beans, well, the kids come down, they bring up a can of corns that I paid 29 cents for. It's $1.79 at the store right now. So do you see how much that investment increased? Okay. That's where your investment comes in. So realize that regardless of what happens, inflation is still roaring. The Fed's lowering the interest rates 0.5%, while they're trying to put their thumb on the scale of the election. And you can be sure they'll say all day long, they'll sing this song about, we're not political, we don't bat it, but we don't do anything for political bull. They're political appointees. What do you expect? So yeah, they're putting their thumb on the scale for the Democrats, and they're lowering interest rates because they're going to, CNN, MSNBC, all the libs, they're going to make a big deal of it. Well, the effect of that is the average person won't feel an effect on that for a long time. But really what it does, it signals their fear of a coming recession. And even worse than that, I'm not going to get really into the deep of the weeds of economics right here, but even worse than a recession would be stagflation, worse than inflation. If you're familiar with what stagflation is, it means an increase in the price of goods and services without a corresponding increase in wages. Okay, and that's what we had during Jimmy Carter. We are seeing we are seeing a reflection of the Carter years. Like I said, the last time there was a work stoppage the size of what may be happening with the Longshoremen's Union was in 1977, Jimmy Carter, right? This is such a reflection of the Carter years. It's just unbelievable. Whatever happens around you, I had a friend of mine send something to me the other day, and I said, when you're in a hurricane, try to stay in the eye. You want to stay in the eye of the hurricane. You want to stay where it's calm. The whole world can spin around you and be crazy, but you can maintain stability if you have prepared for it. So the time to prepare for it is now. Get out, buy the things that you know you will need. Okay. I always say, if you should have enough so you don't have to leave the house for a year, and better 7 years. And I know, so I'll get somebody to come on. That can't be done. Well, it can't be done if you don't think you can. So, if you think you can, the old saying, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Now, last one I started, can't. If you think you can or think you can't, you're right, because you will do what you think you can or can't. Won't. So anyway, get out there, see what you're a little bit light on, and understand, we're coming in, if this hits, it's gonna disrupt things through the holidays. So, Get out there and make sure, try to get to the point to where you have everything you need several months ahead. Okay. I know that not everybody can do it financially, but I put up one on Patreon this morning, a trip that we made up, well, I won't say where we went. We're Kelly's setting up a new shop in another state, and we went up there to start setting things up. And I made a video about it, about the importance of diversification, not just diversification in your preps, diversification in your income streams. And I put that up on the Patreon channel. And if you're not with us on the Patreon channel, and if you're serious about preparing, you need to be with us on the Patreon channel. It's only $1 a month, and the link is right down below. Okay, so do something. It could be coming. You need to be prepared. Prepare for shortages, because they very possibly could be coming. And remember, if you want the real whole plan, the Stonemont series, you can get them on Amazon. Links down below, or directly from me. I prefer you do it that way because I get to sign it for you, and I write a little note in there for you and see who my readers are. And I love my relationship with my readers, just like I do with my viewers out there. So those are available, and the link is down below. And also the mugs. You can get these again. I'm going to keep saying, because everybody was asking about them. Shot placement is everything. It is the biggest selling mug we've ever had. You can buy them individually or in sets of 4, and in sets of 4, it's a great discount because our shipping is not as much per mug when we send them in sets of 4, and I pass that savings on to you. Those links are down below. Get you some. Get them as gifts. Get a set so that you have them when you have friends over, or buy several to give away to friends. You'll be the most popular guy out there. Okay, take them down. Buy a few and take them down to your gun range and give them out to the guys at the gun range. They'll love you. Maybe they'll give you some free range time. Okay, these are available also on our website, stonemont.us. So you all have a good day. I'm going to take one more sip just to show you how much better it tastes out of this. Yeah, it tastes better. Have a good day, but stock up, because, guys, it is coming. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.